Now. All right, everybody. Here's what we got going. It's the Drink and Draw live stream, and we have Scott Kolins. But first, I'll introduce myself because I love doing those things. I'm Dan Panocean. Over here, we have Jeff Johnson, who has drawn such cartoons as Transformers Prime, Spectacular Spider-Man, and the Boondocks. Jeff is currently working on a book for Image called Rogue's Kingdom, and his sketchbook called Whimsy and Whatnot. I didn't even make that up.
That is the most probable name of the sketchbook.
What about the Reverend?
Oh, I'm just traveling the world, not doing anything.
You just got back from places unknown, right?
Oh yeah, Switzerland and Amsterdam or Utrecht.
Oh my God! All right, let's give everybody a little background on Scott. Scott has worked on The Flash. You probably know him from The Flash, Thor, Batman, Superman, BPRD, Blue Beetle, and he's worked on Shazam also. We should probably say ask you, Scott, what other ones have you worked on?
Avengers is a big one. Marvel Team Up. I've done little stints all over the place. I've done little stuff on Justice League and Batman and Green Lantern and just about everywhere.
How long does it take them to fire you?
Godzilla 2, Predator, that kind of stuff.
How long are you in a book before you get fired?
No, that's more my thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's more of a Jeff. Actually, Scott is one of those guys who, he is a monthly guy, and sometimes he's done 2 comic books a month. He's the closest thing I have to John Byrne in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
Usually those 2 books a month are still like an overlapping deadline deal, so I never actually do 2 books a month. But
don't ruin it for me, okay?
All right, I'll keep the magic alive.
It's certainly still more than I ever do.
Yeah, 100%.
So Scott, what characters haven't you worked on?
Well, there's a bunch that I haven't worked on, like in their own books kind of thing. Like I haven't run on Incredible Hulk or Doctor Strange. There's lots of Marvel stuff because I spent so much more time over at DC.
I guess that's fair. But haven't you drawn Doctor Strange? Wasn't he in Marvel Team Up?
Yeah, he was in Marvel Team Up, and I want to say something else that I drew as well, but I can't remember what that is right now.
Was Robert Kirkman writing Marvel Team Up when you were doing it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, pre-Walking Dead TV show and everything else. He was just doing the Walking Dead book and Invincible and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Scott's OG. He's OG Kirkman.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right, Dan, what are you working on?
I was doing some commissions. I just did a Madman commission, but I have a secret project at Marvel, which I can't talk about.
And it's been a secret for a while. I mean, how much, can you at least tell us how much longer it's going to be a secret?
Probably about 2 more months.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
So what are you guys drinking?
Me? I'm still working on my Cuervo over here.
Oh, nice.
So
at the moment, I've just got a mug of something.
A mug of something.
So we're going to pretend it's alcohol?
You bet.
All right, fair enough.
I'm drinking a concoction I made, Tito's vodka, Gatorade, and a bunch of frozen berries.
What the fuck?
That's healthy.
Right.
Looks like you went to Jamba Juice and
good and bad for you at the same time.
I'm a lab today, man.
Yeah, with the Jamba Juice, and they forgot to do the blending or something.
Nice.
Actually,
and I've got
good shit.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I've got Nut Crusher, peanut butter. Hey, who's that?
Party foul.
That was Jason Schachter. That was Jason. Yeah, he's our essential sequentials man of the hour.
I hope he's calling with good news.
I don't know. I don't know with him. So, are we going to be? Jeff? It looks like you're really at it with that thing.
I've been designing. It's a whole sci-fi universe thing I've been playing with, working on, designing and developing, and I just keep adding stuff to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So eventually it'll be finished, and then it'll be then I'll just hand it over to Paramount, and they'll make a movie out of it. That's the goal.
Yay!
Yeah, right. That works.
And then you're going to take over the world, right?
That's the dream. Well, maybe I'll get invited to the Netherlands.
Right.
So did you have fun, Dave?
Yeah, no, it was great. Had more fun in Switzerland, hanging out with Enrico Marini.
Didn't you guys have kind of like an impromptu drink and draw while you were hanging out?
We did. We got some commissions done for the show, and it was awesome. I
Nice.
picked up a fantastic couple of originals, which I guess I should share. Let me go get them.
Yeah,
why
let's
don't you show those?
Cool.
I keep hearing Enrico's pretty talented.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is amazing. Do you think Dan? Do you think that you went to Paris, or was it Paris or somewhere in France not too long ago?
It's been a while since I've been over there. We did a book tour. I have a big announcement for slots that has to do with France coming up, but
Oh, cool.
Yay!
I'll save that for another time.
And Scott, weren't you just in Spain?
I was just in Spain, and I was in Paris last year.
Oh, so what do you guys think? How do the European guys? How are they different? How are they alike to the American comic book guys? Is there a
You mean the artists?
yeah?
Well, you know, they take their time on stuff. Unlike, you know, they don't have the same deadlines we have. So, I mean, they put, you know, they got like 10 panels a page, and for some, I guess the way the album dimensions are, they can fit more panels.
Right. It's more. It's like 12 by 12, right?
You guys could just ask me because I've done a few myself.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's right. Dan is the expert. Dan, why don't you enlighten us?
Yeah.
Tell us how it is, Dan.
Well, that's exactly how what Dave said, pretty much.
Yeah, because you did the
It's
James
called John.
Bondy.
It's called
Tiffany
John
one.
Tiffany. Yeah, we did
Right.
2 John Tiffany books over there, and Stephen Desberg, the same writer that is writing the Scorpion material for Enrico Marini, wrote John Tiffany. It's odd because the John Tiffany didn't seem to do nearly as well as the Scorpion stuff.
All right.
That's weird.
Weird.
Well, I was going to say, here's one of the pieces I got from Marini.
Whoa.
Unfortunately, the way my camera is, I can't back it up too much.
That looks awesome.
That's amazing.
And
Cool.
the other thing he just gave it, I mean, this was a trade, but the other thing he just gave me, which was awesome, is, and this looks nothing like his work. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's like super cartoony.
Oh,
He was big into Otomo for a long time, like his early stuff, and even the first Gypsy is very Otomo.
Yeah, but if you look at this stuff, it's like nothing I've ever seen him even try to do. I mean, look at these faces, man. These are great.
oh those are great. Those are fantastic.
I can draw.
Awesome.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, no need to curse.
I love his body. I love his blacks. Those are great.
Hey, don't be racist.
Yeah, the compositions are great.
No, he's awesome. And a great guy.
Oh,
So do those guys go to school? Like, are they classically trained? Do they have more of a comic book educational system over there, or is it just like us, all guesswork?
I think it's all different, but you know, it seemed like he learned from comics. I mean, like manga comics and all that kind of stuff. So,
Scott, you actually probably were one of the only guys among us who were trained in comics specifically. You went to the Cubert school, right?
Yeah, I did go to the Cubert school. It was a good time, and I learned a lot there. I mean, I've learned a lot of hard knocks after that as well, being in the business. But yeah, so technically, I guess somewhat classically trained there, but it was, to me, very offbeat in a lot of the training. A lot more nuts and bolts of learning perspective or doing things, and also when I went there anyway, it was really big on the work ethic. Of you had
what is that?
You had 8 hours of school or whatever it was, but then almost every night you did have hours of homework. So they were really like beating you down, especially the first year of the school, to make sure that you could handle like a 12 or 16-hour day or something like that. A lot of the kids I knew, I'd already been drawing a fair amount, but a lot of the other kids I knew would putting their hands in ice and stuff because their hands would be cramping during their first year.
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, we used to, the old studio that Scott and I used to be part of, we'd have Cokes in the fridge, and you would just hold an ice cold Coke for a while until your hands mellowed out and the pain stopped. Hey, I just want to mention, we didn't talk about it before, but our moderator, Ben, is gone today, but he will be back. He just had real life stuff to do. He couldn't just.
He's hosting Jimmy Palmiotti and everybody who's going to Planet Comic-Con.
So he's being an adult.
Yeah, we got rid of Jimmy. We sent him off. We had enough of him in LA, and now he's on his merry way somewhere.
So Ben is missed. And I guess Dan, you're moderating? Is that the deal?
If you can call it that.
I never would.
Yeah. We can give it a name.
Yeah.
Well, Dan likes controversy, so I don't
He
know.
does.
I love it. Everybody does.
It'll be
So
amazing
Scott,
if he boots anybody.
When you were at the Cubert school, you lived at the school? Is that the deal? You had like dorms and stuff?
They do have them there. They don't have like a full-on dorm necessarily, but they have 3 buildings, I think it was, where you could live in it. I moved out with a friend of mine to go to school. We both went at the same time. So we were just roommates when we got an apartment.
Oh, fun.
But yeah, there were plenty of guys in there, especially the first year guys. And there was the mansion, the cottage, I think was one, and I forget another one. And the mansion that people lived in was actually the very first building that Cubert bought for the school. And that's where the school used to actually be until by the time I got there. I think it was like maybe 3 or 5 years before I got there, 3 years. They bought an old high school in the city, Dover, New Jersey. So when they go to school there now, it's actually what used to be an old high school, probably from the 50s or 60s or something.
You're making all this up. Is this true?
Yeah. It's all true. And then after I left, there was a big parking lot in the back of the building. And after I left now, that's been all changed over. And when I went, there was a lot of cool things about it, but it wasn't the most up-to-date building in the world because they'd only had it a couple of years, and I think they'd spent a lot of money getting it. But now I need to go back and visit because Andy and Adam and stuff have totally revamped it. There used to be a theater in the center of the building, like, a high school would have for plays and shows and whatnot. And we would go in there once in a while for big talks. But I've heard that they've totally gutted that out, and now that's classrooms and stuff. So, but I think it's all like refurbished and much better looking now than when I was there too.
So when you were there, you would have like guest speakers come and give talks and things?
Occasionally. I don't remember too many on my year, but I remember hearing about lots of other ones. I want to say, well, Joe gave us a lecture to in that main auditorium when it was that. And I want to say that, who was Joe's buddy who used to draw Red Sonja?
Oh, Frank Thorne?
Was it Frank?
Yeah.
Well, Frank Thorne was the man. He was like
that must have been the guy. Yeah, I heard that he used to do lots of lectures there too. And I think I may have been there for one.
Oh.
It's all kind of a blur.
Was he dressed like a wizard?
No. I don't remember seeing anybody dressed like a wizard.
Because I heard that was Frank Thorne's...
He was like one of the original cosplayers, for real. Like, he would go to the conventions.
Seriously?
Up.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he had a good time.
I was at Illustration House when a shit ton of his covers and splash pages showed up, to sell. And I still wanted to buy one, but they were already like priced at like $10,000-$15,000. Some upwards of $30,000. I'm just like, damn. And they all came from him, so at least he's going to get that money, not a
That's good.
Not a collector.
Right.
Were you there when Lee Weeks was there?
I was not. Lee was a few years ahead of me. And I'm sure he's gone back and like done guest spots or whatever, but he was not there. And he didn't give a talk or anything while I was there. No, the bigger names that were there teaching, Bart Sears was my second year. I forget, it wasn't a life drawing class. It was might have been a storytelling class. Kim DeMoller was there.
No drawing. You guys just sit around and jibber jabber, right?
No, it was all drawing. But he was all like, it was situational stuff, or that he was the first one to really push us, and that we were drawing pages after pages after pages of sample scripts that he'd get from Marvel or DC or somebody. But he was.
Well, let me ask you: do you have any regrets paying that kind of money instead of just doing it on your own, or?
No, I mean, yeah, I was paying off student loans for years and stuff, but for me, it was really worth it. I knew it's one of those situations where you get out of it kind of what you put into it as well. Because I knew a bunch of kids who went into it and fluffed it off. They didn't really work on the homework a whole lot. The parents were paying for it or something, and they weren't even sure what they wanted to do, even if they thought they might have wanted to do comics. But man, I worked day and night, weekends. When we had the summer off, I was always working all summer. I made projects for myself. There was just no way I was going to waste any time. I didn't have Joe my whole first year. He wasn't teaching first-year students or second-year students when I went there. But I made an appointment with him. I asked the other teachers if I could, but I made a specific appointment with Joe at the end of my first year, and I showed him my best assignments, and I got his critique and stuff like that. And that was the only time that I could get to see Joe.
Steve Jones has a question.
Uh-oh.
It's a loaded question for Dave.
Oh, jeez.
Uh-oh.
Unload, Dan.
Well, unload Steve Jones. I mean, let's see if he unloads. I'm scared. But all right. So I kind of wanted a Lee Weeks story. Now I'm disappointed.
Lee Weeks is amazing. How's that for a story?
Good enough.
Have you ever seen well, I'm sure you have, but like his old Gambit stuff? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember all his early stuff.
Was that stuff?
Yeah, it was a Gambit miniseries.
Yeah, that stuff was amazing.
Oh yeah.
I think that's where I first really discovered and fell in love with his stuff and was incredibly jealous since his storytelling was so damn good.
Yeah, that was one of the things that they pushed. I'm sure Lee got that from Joe and from other guys there. They really were just like stressing the basics of stuff. It really wasn't fancy dancy on anything. Even if you tried to do something that was crazy about stuff, they would just hand you down and work on the anatomy or work on the perspective or work on the reference you were using or something.
Is there anybody that went to the school that you're like, wow, they're in another field. They're not doing comic books necessarily, but now they're doing something else and they're amazing.
I've lost track of a bunch of guys who went in different fields. Some went for computer stuff. I think one guy I know, he wound up like being part of a skateboard company, doing different things there. He was designing stuff, but then I think he even moved up to management or whatever. But the only guys I've kept in touch with over the years are just the guys who weren't even in my year, but went to the Cubert school, like Tom Rainey.
Oh, Tom's great.
Yeah, Tom's awesome. And that was one of those things too, where Tom wasn't in my year, but I met him because they were forming, while I was there during my first year, they were forming some sort of like reunion committee for Cubert students. And all my other buddies were laughing at me, saying that I was just doing the stupidest thing in the world. But Tom went. So that's how I got to meet Tom.
Hey, did the Cubert school did they hook you up with work? Did they have like a placement program in place? Like how did once you were at the Cubert school, how did you get your first gig?
I think there's a lot more of that right now after I left. But even while I was there, they did stuff where I think the DC would come to the third-year students around graduation time and check over portfolios and stuff like that. I actually, because it was costing so much money, I took the risk after my second year. I started getting job opportunities, so I went and started those. So I actually didn't finish my third year of the school. Oh,
so you didn't graduate?
You're a dropout.
Is that what happened?
I'm a dropout. Well, I started getting work, and again, not to toot my own horn too much, but I was working a hell of a lot more than a lot of students were.
Right. Well, I mean, if the goal of going to art school is to become a professional artist, and you did that before you finished the program, it seems like that's a good art school. Absolutely.
No, I credit Cubert School with a whole bunch of getting me in shape and moving all this stuff. And still, even though it wasn't technically through the school, my first jobs were through the other guys who had broken in before me. So it was still through other Cubert students that called me up and said, hey, there's this over here, or there's this over here, call this guy or whatever and see if you can get a job through him.
Yeah, it's all like I definitely think that the network of who like I've gotten more work from being just happening to be in the right bar at the right time, talking to the right person. I remember for years I tried to break in by sending unsolicited samples and and I never got a single reply.
Well, that's the thing, is that so much of it is being in the right place at the right time, but then you have to have the skills to keep the job.
Well, yeah, I don't have those.
Yes, you do.
I've never mastered those.
Or you can do what I did, and I joined the Gaijin Studios, and that, man, talk about, being in a den of creativity. I mean, that really helped out.
Yeah, like who was in the original Gaijin?
The original Gaijin was Brian Stelfreeze, Joe Phillips, Adam Hughes, Jason Pearson, Cully Hamner, Carl Story, and Brian Stelfreeze's girlfriend.
That is a talented bunch.
Yeah, it helped me get in. Like a couple of DC editors had asked Joe Phillips to do some stuff, and he really didn't want to do it, but he knew I needed work or at least a chance, and he took the assignments on the proviso that I would help out, and then if they liked what I did, then the first thing was like a thing called comic called The Web. And,
I remember that well.
Yeah, well, you helped to ruin the ink.
Yeah, Dan, you worked on that.
Yeah.
Well, I did backgrounds on it. I can't claim.
That was one of my first jobs too. Was for Impact Comics.
Yeah.
What?
So he took the job, and they gave me the second part of that issue, or the second issue of that assignment, and that got me the ball rolling. So, I keep hearing about all the horror stories of people having to do their first work at unscrupulous small companies where they get ripped off or
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, and luckily I didn't have any of that. So
Bastard.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't get paid for a bunch of my first stuff.
Well, maybe it wasn't worth it.
Well, I mean, no, it certainly wasn't. I wouldn't have paid me either. The stuff was terrible.
They were teaching you a valuable life lesson, Jeff.
Yeah.
You can't put a price tag on that.
No. I mean, art is priceless. It's true. I wasn't making any art, though. Not for a long time.
Yeah. Silence.
I know, right? It's good times.
Well, it's a lot. Drawing is a little,
It's hard
sad
to do.
little world.
Yeah.
I miss Ben. I mean, yeah, Dan, you're great, but I miss.
Well, look, you guys are always complaining I don't draw. I'm doing a little drawing.
That's fantastic. I do miss Ben. Ben is a great moderator. Ben keeps things flowing. I guess we're gonna have to pick up the Ben Slack.
Ben Slack.
Ben's actually, even though we've only done a few, Ben is like, pay me.
Yeah.
Pay
Oh,
me.
he wants to get paid now? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. I guess we can afford him,
that's
right?
crazy.
I don't know.
If we're going to do
Yeah.
that, let's at least get somebody good looking.
Yeah.
Let's get somebody hot.
Let's get someone cute, like Steve
Like
Jones.
or like Ben's brother. Ben has
Oh, yeah.
a handsome brother.
That guy
Oh,
works
really?
out.
Oh yeah, that guy's amazingly good.
I don't think I've known.
No, I'm just
That guy
kidding.
definitely works out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where have we gone?
Yeah. Oh,
To the dark side.
through the looking glass, my friend. Hey, so what? So Scott, you're doing the Flash now, right?
Yeah, I've been working on this is one of the latest issues, 57. So yeah, I guess I should show some of that stuff.
Yeah, you can if you want.
Don't
Well, I
get
mean,
too
it's here,
far.
and some people like this sort of thing. I don't know. Can you see that, baby?
No.
No.
But we're happy. We're having some problems earlier, and we couldn't see anything. So
So
I
this
got
is-
some sun shadow going on right now too, but
I still can't see any of it.
no.
No, that's it. What is that? Is that a 2-page spread?
It's a 2-page spread. Some people get weirded out because my stuff is only in pencil.
yeah, that one
That's
does
the
weird me
book.
out.
Can you see the book?
Oh yeah, nice.
That's the book. But if my camera worked, then you'd see that this is the page. Let's see. Does it work?
Jesus H.
Did it
That is
get
a
something?
crazy. That's a crazy page, Scott. How long does it take you to do a page like that?
If I'm in the flow and everything's cool and everything, I can still get those 2 pages done in 2 days.
Define
For that.
cool.
Yeah,
Too
define the
crazy.
flow.
Yeah,
It's like the
yeah,
flow business. I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Yeah, what are you, a surfer guy now? Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
yeah, pretty much.
If it's high tide in
That's
Scott
crazy.
Town,
Well, you've been like, that's a lot of work for and you pencil and ink that. You say like so you're Your pencils are so tight, you just shoot from those?
It's just pencils, so I shoot from pencils like this.
Wow.
So this is another bananas one. I think this did take me longer than a day because,
Damn.
the flow wasn't there. I'm sorry, Dan.
Damn.
Ooh, God, you need the flow.
That's wild.
So important to have flow.
So how many hours is that you just sitting still?
I mean, I try to break it up. That's the other thing too, is that, to keep the blood pumping and not, like zone out in the page or something like that. You got to get up every once in a while and get another drink or a snack or just do a lap around the house or something like that. That's why when you usually call me, I told you that's when I get up and I just start walking around the house the whole time.
Right.
Get my 1,000 steps in or however many I can do during our phone conversation to keep it going. So I'm not just sitting all the time, because that does make you stagnant and kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in total, that's probably at least 12 hours.
And don't forget vigorous masturbation.
Yeah, we can't forget that.
I mean, you're going to pull more than just a muscle.
Usually I'm not on the phone with Jeff for that.
not usually. That's a special occasion.
Sure you're not.
Yeah.
That's when Dan calls. Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
You whip out those old modeling pictures of Dan?
that everybody's so fond of.
Listen, those are impressive. If I looked that good, I would put pictures up myself all the time.
Well.
Yeah.
Let's not give Dave any ideas, all right?
Dave's just jealous. We're all jealous.
Yeah.
I'd love to be that buff.
And have that much baby oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a lot of baby oil.
It's a lot of baby oil.
A lot of baby oil and Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys learned something last week.
It's true.
We sure did. That was amazing.
The talk of the internet now.
Oh my goodness.
Thankfully, nobody is talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to keep mentioning it until it becomes a talk of the internet.
Yeah. Someone's going to get skin cancer. They're going to blame you.
Yeah. All right. I think I'll go to my my HD cam.
Yeah, you're going to show us what you're drawing.
Let's see what I'm working on here.
Cool.
How do you like that, guys? What do you think of that?
I love it. I love that wire.
So far, I don't see anything.
All right. If you guys keep jabbering, I'm trying to draw.
Who is that? Is that Lee Marvin?
No, it's a little cowboy.
Nice.
You guys like cowboys?
No.
I love cowboys.
Oh, then I love this.
Dan, you're named after a cowboy. Isn't your middle name Duke? Aren't you named after
My
John
middle name
Wayne?
is Duke. Yeah, just like you, Shane.
Yeah, but I don't know. Alan Ladd was a much shorter cowboy.
John Wayne was a man.
5'4". John Wayne was a big man.
Yeah, he was a big man. Let's see what we can do here. Got to get this in frame. I always treat my pencils are so bad, and I always treat them like I'm inking someone terrible, and that's my method.
So do you feel that you're not attached to the pencil? Then you can just go crazy on the.
No, I'm just not very. To me, it's just very basic information, and I don't really. I just use it as like kind of a template, you know.
Is that how you treated those inks on my first DC book?
Well, you know who technically inked that stuff is Bill Ray. I wasn't really the inker. I was doing background inks.
So he was having you erase half my shit?
He was like, I was like, I don't understand what Dave did here. He goes, I don't either. Erase it.
Fill it in. Let's black it out.
When in doubt, black it out. That was our motto.
Yeah, it's just a classic.
You learned from Wally.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely learned from Wally.
It's funny. I mean, it was such a shitty book, but you know, being your first job.
Oh, I'm sure you were super precious about it.
This is gonna make my whole career.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny when you look back at the first comic you did. And mine has some youthful exuberance, but other than that, it's terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, it was totally
Yeah.
I remember, I think the first time I ever saw your work, Jeff, it was on a book that Jorge Safino had drawn the front of or something.
Oh, nice.
And Chris Ivey inked you.
Oh, yeah,
Huh?
Stalkers.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. I did like 11 pages in the back of that before the book was canceled. I've been on a lot of books that got canceled.
Yeah, you and me
I've done a
both.
lot of covers for a book that got canceled. I started thinking it was my fault at some point.
I definitely thought that I was cursed. Like if I got hired to a company, that company was doomed.
Well, Malibu was not your fault.
Malibu. I don't know. I was there. I definitely the albatross. I'm a harbinger for sure.
You were not. There were some terrible books there.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't deny the truth, Scott. If you hire me, your company's not long.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. I went to the comic book store when those books are coming out and everybody's touting about, oh, the writers. I go and read these things. I'm like, holy mackerel. Some of them were terrible.
That is.
Are you talking about Impact Comics?
No, Malibu.
No, Malibu.
You know what though? Do you remember there was some of them were pretty good. Like, do you remember the comics Malibu did before they created the Malibu line with us? Like, do you remember Dinosaurs for Hire?
Yeah, I do.
That was a really fun book. I did an issue of that. That was good times.
I never saw that one.
Yeah, it was good. You'd be surprised. It was dinosaurs. Private detectives.
Yeah.
Did they have good rates?
Spoiler, it was some dinosaurs.
Yeah, shocker.
Dinosaurs making some money.
Yeah.
What would you have to pay a dinosaur to, do your dirty work?
Some meat.
Some meat of some kind. They were all carnivores, I think. Pretty sure they were all predators, but I'm not 100% on that.
But they were all for hire, which is awesome.
They were definitely all for hire. Yeah.
There was
they were Dinosaurs for Hire. They were a bunch of detectives.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why that hasn't made it to the big screen yet.
You know what? It's a good book.
Tom Mason.
I liked that book. I had a good time working on it. I always liked it before. It was one of those books that I read before I actually penciled it.
Oh, you worked on Dinosaurs for Hire?
I did.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
A few seconds ago, it was a great book until I worked on it. We were laughing about it.
Well, no, I got to see that now because you're cutting your teeth on a book called Dinosaurs for Hire. That's pretty serious.
No, I got that. Yeah. Well, I mean, I cut my teeth on Conan 3D or King Cole 3D.
Yeah, for Blackthorn.
Yeah. Do you remember? And Star Wars 3D. Do you remember the 3D books?
Yeah. No, I worked for Blackthorn. I had to hold some pages for ransom back then.
Yeah, they were notorious for not paying up.
Learning your negotiating skills.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you have to play hardball. So Dave, that was your first book. Was an actual, real, successful book.
No, it wasn't.
With a real company.
Well, it was a real company, but
a real company, yeah. But,
people
I think the book sold terribly. I mean, how could it not? I mean, I think the colorist was only using one color per character at the time. I mean, it was some of the worst colors.
No, it was pretty bad. In Dave's defense,
shit.
those books were they were terrible.
Well, the writing was really bad. I mean, my first issue, the I can't remember who wrote it, but
he's watching.
He wrote on the splash panel. He said, "Console with blinking lights." I'm like, how am I going to draw that?
What do you mean? I can draw that.
Sure, not in one panel.
Yeah. No, it's the blinking, Dan. It's the blinking.
The blinking lights.
That's a sound effect.
Yeah, that's definitely a sound effect. What are you guys' like? There have been some times that what are the phrase that a writer will hand you in a script that bugs you the most? Mine is shakes head. That drives me crazy.
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
But also Space Armada. That drives me fucking bananas. I hate that.
Yeah, Space Armada is a problem.
Giffen loved that word.
Armada, yeah.
Bastard. And horde.
Oh yeah, attacking horde. That's always good.
I know Dan's favorite is location changes.
Oh yeah, how many times?
Several location changes within one page.
Yeah, writers take note. If you have every page should have one location, one established shot basically, and then you can't keep doing that. You can't keep changing location. That will kill a comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crap I got to do in Flash all the time.
I know. Well, there's only 22 pages now.
Well,
20
the difference is
at
that
some
Flash
companies.
is like running from location to location.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just one thing happens here. Now we go to Monte Carlo. Another thing happens over here. Now we go to Paris. Another thing happens over here.
My favorite was I literally had a writer who had years of experience. This was on a pro book and everything, big book, whatnot. He has a main character. He says the main character enters the kitchen in one panel, goes over the refrigerator, pulls out a drink, and turns because someone's calling him off panel.
Okay.
That's not easy.
No, you can't do entering. I had him opening the refrigerator, holding the drink, whatever he's getting out of the refrigerator, and turning at the same time. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
I know when that happens, I just add extra panels. But then, unfortunately, you add extra panels, and you're making the page less interesting. Unless you're doing something completely clever with with those panels.
Do you remember you had a style of storytelling you called the fly?
Which I've now incorporated. Jeff.
that you whenever I had a storytelling problem, I couldn't figure something out. It's like, just do it from the fly's perspective.
Yeah, I go, well, make it interesting. And Jeff would just get
make it interesting. Just do it from the fly's perspective.
What was funny is I wasn't really penciling that much. I'd pencil little things here and there. And so Jeff was actually really penciling. And so I'd be talking to Jeff like I was an old pro at it. So that would be part of the frustrating part of it.
I mean, the sad thing is that's always good advice. The fly perspective is always cool.
Oh yeah.
It's just very difficult to draw.
Yeah. Make it interesting. Yeah, it's the fault of the storyteller, the artist, if you can't make it interesting.
Yeah.
Which is not always true.
Well, there is make it interesting, but that was the first appointment that I had at DC to try and get work. Bart got me an interview with Archie Goodwin. And Archie was amazing. And he was the one who did the opposite of what you're talking about. I think I had some Punisher pages or whatever he had for a script. But all my shots in this Punisher pages were like through the legs of this guy and down from over the tree of this guy. He's running through the jungle or something. And all crazy shots. None of them were like eye level. And by the time Archie was looking through the pages, he's like, I don't know what's going on in here. I can't figure any of this stuff out.
Right.
He goes, can't you just have the camera sit still for a second?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of guys doing it today, and that's what they do. It's like this reads and feels like a TV show, which is not a bad thing.
Well, Scott, you obviously punched out Archie Goodwin at that point, right?
Yeah. No, I love the man, but he did not love me. I tried like 2 more times to see him and work on him with new samples. And literally, even though everybody says he's the nicest guy in the world, and he was nice to me, but I showed him some pages. The last time I saw him, I showed him some other pages. He just glanced at him. He didn't flip through them or nothing. And he literally looked me in the eye and said, stop wasting my time.
Oh,
wow.
Shit.
Ouch.
Yep. That was crushing.
That is crushing.
Is that what ultimately led to his demise? Like your pages?
I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, maybe he was having a bad day, but the pages weren't good. I was trying something, and it was stupid.
Is there something you did from a long time ago that you're still proud of, Scott? That maybe you and I... no, I'm just kidding.
What could it possibly be?
No.
Well, I was happy to have you on some of those Flash issues, Dan. You know that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Dan, you inked them really well on those.
You know what I saw
that
recently,
was my
Dan,
Perry Austin phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, phase is still there.
Yeah, it's a good phase.
Yeah.
I ran across an early project that you and I did, Dan. Remember I did a thing with Wonder Girls?
Oh, yeah.
And,
that was cool. I really painstakingly inked that.
Well, you remember, too, you actually helped me with some faces because the inker at the time inked some really crazy faces. He didn't do what, I had drawn at all.
Oh.
And I was like, Dan, please help.
Yeah, Dan's always undervalued his own. Like, he's saved many a drawing with in the inks.
Well, I've also ruined quite a few too, so it's a little bit of both.
So Scott, you just got back from Spain. When are you? Do you have more shows coming up?
Yeah, next week I'm going to Edinburgh.
Oh, nice.
Woohoo!
Huh.
Should be a good time.
What? Who's going to be there? What's that show all about?
I don't know. I don't know if I think I looked at the website once or something like that a while ago when I was first invited, and I don't think there were a lot of names on there or whatever, but I was totally surprised when I went to the Spain one because I don't think I saw anybody's name, and yet there were tons of cool guys there. There was Assad Ribic, and he was awesome to hang out with. Pasquale Ferry was there. Carlos Pacheco was there.
Oh, I love those guys.
Yeah, they were awesome. It was so great to hang out with them and see them and everything. It was really, really cool. So I'm hoping to be surprised when I go to Edinburgh.
Dave, what's your next international show?
Well, I got invited to Greece, but it's really soon. I mean, the guy always invites me and never gives me time.
I thought we were all going to do that together.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He just. I mean, that was last year, and I just got the email the other day.
Oh, and when is the show supposed to take place?
In May. But I got to check my schedule and all that kind of stuff. So.
I mean, it's tough to be an international superstar.
Yeah, Dave's always traveling. You never know where he's going to be.
I wish.
Scott and I are going to Detroit.
Wow, Rock City.
Yeah.
Well, don't get murdered.
I'm looking forward to it. I've never been to Detroit.
Detroit's
I don't think it's actually in the city itself, though.
Detroit is awesome. I got a lot of family there.
Well, me and you went, remember? Or wasn't that Detroit? Dan?
I don't know. We've been all over.
We had
like
some crazy shenanigans.
Like Johnny Cash.
Definitely like Johnny Cash. That's what I always think.
What do you think of Dave Van Nuys?
Oh, Johnny Cash.
Oh, this we're like Johnny Cash.
Of course.
Why is this thing not focusing? There we go. Can we? No.
Dan, are you coloring with a marker? What is that?
I was coloring with this thing. Check it out.
That's awesome.
It's a huge Sharpie.
Is that one of those poster paints?
Yeah, it is poster paint. And yeah. So the problem is now I got to let it dry, and so I went over the lines. That's what happens at drink and draw. It's not a perfect drawing.
They're not supposed to be perfect.
No, it's not.
Perfect is BS.
Frank Cho is asking, what happened to Ben DeFeo? Did you guys get rid of him due to low ratings?
Actually, Ben's the most by the way.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ben's the most popular person on the show.
He is. Well, he's the nicest person on the show, too.
Yeah, my wife will not stop talking about his chin.
He's incredibly handsome.
So apparently he's rugged. I don't even know.
He's pretty rugged, and he's one of those soft-spoken, guys who, all of us wish we were like, oh, let me hold my tongue on that, and I'll just, I'll reserve my comment. He definitely reserves his comment, and when he does speak, everybody will like, what did he say? Nobody does that with us.
No. No one's listening to us.
No. It's too much babbling.
I miss Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a big guy. He kind of dwarfs Dave. Dave looks kind of tiny in comparison. I like that.
He's huge.
Yeah.
He's a big fella. He's like he's a true John Wayne.
Is he? He's a cowboy.
Well, yeah, he's over there in Kansas City, so I guess he's a cowboy.
Oh yeah, I mean Kansas City is a cowboy town.
You and I aren't quite cowboys. I grew up in Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm from I was in Hawaii a lot.
Yeah,
but actually, Hawaii has a lot of cowboys.
Does it?
Yeah, there's a ton of ranching in Hawaii.
I can't think of it now. There's a Hawaiian term for cowboy.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's on the Big Island. I've been there, that area. I can't think of it now. Dang it.
Howley?
No, that's
no, for Hawaiian cowboys.
When I was a kid, my mom actually took me out of school one day. This is back in the 70s. Well, that happened a lot. She was afraid because I was a Howley. She was afraid I was going to get killed one day.
How old were you when you guys moved to California?
My freshman year of high school.
Wow.
We got to California. I've been there. I was born in California. We'd been there a couple times, but the last time I was a freshman, and it was.
You moved around a lot.
I did. So the benefits of a a less than legal childhood.
Yeah.
But high school is not an easy time to move.
Yeah, well, I was there as a freshman, and then when I was a junior, I moved to a different high school, and that's where I met Steve Jones.
And then ultimately Steve Jones and you, Scott Kolins, Christopher Shank, Brandon McKinney, who's like a big time animation guy now. You guys all had a studio called Work in Progress Studios, and occasionally I'd go and give me some space there. And
Yeah, no,
you
it
guys
was a
were
great,
always practicing kung fu and kicking ass. And
we did
it was a great studio.
Yeah, we did a lot of kung fu. We played a lot of hacky sack, and we drank a ton of sake. There was we had a tradition at the old studio where
Absolutely, the best tradition ever.
right when any one of us finished a project,
Yeah.
there was a really great sushi place right across the street from our studio.
The
So
original
whenever-
studio. I love that one. That was my favorite.
Yeah, that one was awesome.
Yeah, that was in a great neighborhood. You guys had
Yeah,
yeah.
it was but there was a great sushi place right across the street. So when we finished a project, the person who finished the project celebrated, took everyone out to sushi.
Kind.
Yeah.
Great.
You know, it's weird. It's weird at Gaijin. We had the same policy, but nobody ever finished a project.
What do you
Different kind
guys
of studio.
Do you think your company, your little studio versus Gaijin, who would win in a all-out battle?
Well, I think we were probably better at hacky sack.
Oh, well,
Okay.
I don't know. We were pretty good.
At hacky
We were
sack?
good at hacky sack.
Yeah, we used to play it every day.
No.
Oh,
It's
I'll take it.
another
Shame.
reason why we didn't get much done.
right. Yeah, no, we were all right. I didn't know. I thought we would win because we were the only ones doing that. But
No,
if you're actually going to bring a serious hacky game, I don't know.
I
Now I'm
mean,
worried.
you know, like Adam Hughes was actually pretty good. I don't think Joe ever played, but we
Adam
had
Hughes is
Brian.
still doing hacky sack.
Is he?
It's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean,
I
not
don't
a
do
lot
it
of people-
anymore, man.
Not a lot of people are keeping that up, but
Yeah.
Adam is.
I don't know.
He's-
I don't know if I could do hacky sack anymore. I hurt my shoulder just working on this.
Well,
Oh.
maybe you're doing it wrong because you're supposed to use your feet.
Maybe I misunderstand the whole hacky point.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe you're playing some other game. I don't know.
There's a lot of hip usage in hacky sack, though. I don't know.
I'm too old for that. Hacky sack's a young man's game.
Hacky sack. Great. All right, here's my basically Clint Eastwood.
Nice.
Cool, Dan.
You gotta say something.
I'm trying. Here, let me talk. There it is. A lot of paint.
Love it.
Not a whole lot of drawing, which is, a signature move of mine.
Smart.
Whatever gets the job done, man.
Yeah. A lot
Good
of,
times.
as Eric Kennedy would say, a lot of flim flam. Steve Jones texted me and he wants to know about Cosmic Survivor.
Oh, for God's sakes. Cosmic Survivor was another book I never got paid for. way back in the day.
Steve Jones.
We're going to
knows
bring
a
all
lot.
these up.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention Steve Jones also, a big time animator now. Worked on pretty much everything. One of the original Drink and Draw guys.
Yeah.
Showed up at the very first one, but Steve Jones is also part of Work in Progress Studios.
Yeah, Steve Jones and I had a proto studio.
Porno studio? What?
Yeah, it's not.
Not
We didn't make
quite.
any money at it.
No, you never do.
Very small one on his dad's ranch, and
Excuse
He was-
me?
yeah,
His
his
dad's
dad-
ranch.
yeah, his dad used to have a ranch.
Oh, cool.
Was this
Weren't you guys in a shed or something?
Kind of a ranch, or
It was out. Yeah, it was in a small little shed. We didn't have any air conditioning or anything. It was very hot.
you just
but,
had the mutual love for each other.
It was a very beneficial relationship.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, well, Jones was one of the guys. Like when I first got into comics, I was overwhelmed by the sheer number of backgrounds that had to be done.
I felt the same way. I'm like, whoa! I just want to draw people
Whoa.
fighting, and
They want a background. They want a call. Oh, come on, that's bananas. So luckily, I had Jones help me, and I should have known backgrounds are going to be a problem because my first gig in comics was doing stuff for Jim Lee, and I did.
here we go again.
I'm just saying.
Never happened.
I'm just saying. One of the first things Jim had me do was draw all the boring shit like motorcycles and docks and boats and kitchens. and bathrooms. And I should have known then that it was going to be a problem.
You became known for your kitchens.
Yeah, I did a lot of kitchens. I had a lot of people having conversations.
But
Would
Jones
you
is
say
like your Gerhard.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you
Yeah.
say you're most known for your kitchen scenes?
I would say my kitchen scenes are as good as anyone in the business.
I would agree. There's very few
Right.
people that can touch Jeff in that department.
No one does a boring let's talk about what just happened scene.
Your issues are usually recaps.
Yes. I always missed. I mean, every issue of my X-Men was always the issue after.
It's
Something
like
really
everybody's
awesome
talking
happened.
about it.
Yeah.
You know, like this happened. Can you believe that? Cyclops did what?
Oh my God, wasn't that amazing? Can I have some more ice cream?
Yeah. And then Kitty Pryde would be like, I hate you, Wolverine. And Wolverine goes, no, you don't. No, you don't.
All right, let's journal about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were great issues.
Those are the
You
best.
would wonder about that back then. You're like, okay, they're driving in a car.
Right.
Jeff did a lot of driving in car stuff. Jeff and I did a phenomenal, was it Generation X?
Oh yeah, where
annual?
everybody was in for about 15 pages
Everybody was in like a minivan.
in a minivan stuck. Here's the thing. Here's the drama, Scott. They were stuck in traffic.
Wow.
I remember. But you got to tell them who wrote the story.
Oh
No, we don't want to go there.
We don't want to go there.
We had high hopes. We had
Yeah.
high hopes. And this is, oh God, there's all sorts of stuff about it. That was a long issue. That's an annual back then. It was how many pages?
56.
30? It was a lot
Yeah, it was
of
a lot.
pages.
Yeah.
It's weird.
lot
I
of
never
that.
sold any of those pages.
So yeah, I have the entire issue still sitting in my garage. It's odd.
Well-
It's odd. I can't move the inside the minivan pages where everyone's still just in their street clothes.
You know what? It was weird because the writer was also a pretty good artist. You know, decent. Would you say?
Yeah.
So he had done character designs for everything, and Jeff
Oh,
and I
they were
and
gorgeous.
all of the studio, we were just like flipping out over these things. And Jeff thought of these things as proprietary. Like, and I was
At
like,
least
no,
they were secret. They weren't supposed to be like, oh,
there was no internet. I mean, there was an internet, but like 3 people were on it. Like, you know.
Yeah, this is before all that.
Nobody cared. It was not. John Beatty asked me for some of these, and I gave him to John Beatty.
He would not have even known.
John Beatty and the writer were good friends, so he knew. And I was friends with John Beatty, still am, wonderful man.
Quit trying.
And I made the mistake of telling Jeff that I gave them to John Beatty, and Jeff and I almost ended our friendship over it. And now, how do you feel about it? Are you ashamed?
I'm still mad at you. There's
If John Beatty was involved, I think I know who the writer is now. But
It's his favorite guy of all time.
yeah, okay.
Well, no, John has 2 favorites.
I'm pretty sure I have copies of those designs right here on my bookshelf too.
Is one of John's
Yeah.
favorites Armando Gil?
no,
That's one of his favorite anchors, probably.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, listen, I didn't care so much that you shared them. I cared that you shared them after I asked you not to share them.
Yeah, but you know what I thought to myself? I'm doing
Yeah.
finishes. I'm part of the art project. I can make a decision on this.
You said, I don't even care about that part. You agreed.
Did
That's how Dan does it.
Yeah.
A lot of times I would, I'd probably say stuff and then, I mean, nobody should trust me. I'm a liar.
Agreed.
You see my Facebook? Every day it's a lie.
Yeah, that's not really
Yeah.
you.
Did you unload those estates?
Oh yeah, my timeshares, my 13 timeshares that I have. Yeah,
Those giant 30-bedroom estates.
Did you like the pictures of them? Like they weren't just any timeshares.
I know.
They're nice.
I always get about 4 or 5 people commenting on my Facebook posts, like believing everything I've done, and I feel bad. And they're always like family, like distant family members, and they're like, "Oh, Danny, I'm so happy for you," and I'm like, "Oh God."
Now you feel like a real jerk.
I feel like a real scumbag.
Yeah.
I don't have 13 timeshares. I don't have a yacht. I like the I'm doing a yacht, like a chartering business. That was one of my favorites. People were like, "Oh, well, way to go! I hear yachts are good business."
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you can get it, it's just fantastic work.
I would definitely. It was my mother. She was like, "If you have to sell something expensive and make that commission."
Great. Thanks. That's great advice.
She was. I mean, you could be a used car salesman, or you could sell like a Mercedes Benz, or you could sell a yacht.
No,
You decide what you're selling. You
she's
can
100%
sell real
right.
estate. You can sell commercial real estate, or an RV.
Did you ever sell anything? Were you ever an actual salesman?
I worked at a place called Service Merchandise, and I sold stereos.
Nice.
But I knew nothing about stereos. Like Dave Johnson probably knows like amps and speakers. So I would just bullshit.
He knows how to rock a microphone, that's for sure.
Well, no, look at this mic. You guys want to see this thing?
Yeah.
It's called a Yeti. It's a Yeti. No, if it's impressive looking and silver, I'll probably buy it.
Mm.
No, nobody should ever have got advice from me from Service from that place. I also bought my wedding ring there. I bought an engagement ring at the same place.
At a stereo store?
It was called Service Merchandise. And they had everything. They had a jewelry counter.
So it was a pawn shop.
No, it was a legitimate, like a JCPenney's style place. And I was 18 and I thought I was in love and I bought an engagement ring.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how much of this story I believe.
Yeah. You just told us how much you lie. And
Well, no, this is true. I mean, I'm drinking tequila. Look, guys, it's been a lot of fun, but we're nearing our 1 hour mark very shortly.
That happened
already?
fast.
Yeah.
But I'm not done.
Well,
yeah, I didn't finish my thing.
I drew my crappy, What do you think? Oh, that's cool, Scott.
I'm almost there.
Let me see.
Almost.
You start talking.
A little more going. Can you see it now? Now that you can see that I'm drawing a flash.
Oh, that's cool.
Zoom it away.
Nice.
I'm just doing Chris right now.
Oh,
good times.
Dave, that looks great.
It looks okay, Dave.
It's okay.
Looks awesome, Dave.
Can you guys see this madness?
No, we haven't seen that the whole time.
I don't think you've done anything, have you?
Yeah, I've done a few things.
There's so much detail. I can't tell what you've done.
I know. Who's going to get that
Jeff.
thing?
No one. This one's not as a gift. This one's.
What's going to happen to that, Jeff?
He's going to light it on fire.
Yeah.
But the real one.
Jeff, go through that drawing and explain to us what the fuck is happening there.
All right. This is just a sci-fi extravaganza. So you've got.
It certainly is.
You've got your classic. You've got all the things you need in any sci-fi story. You've got a big, cool robot.
Very big.
You've got a cool main character who may or may not be magic.
Ooh.
You have an animal person. You have another robot.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's stop right there.
Right.
Let's stop right there on that robot. Here's my
Hold on.
problem.
I love him.
I was going to say, isn't it in your contract to always have an animal character?
Yes. Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, Dan.
That particular character, if you have a head that ginormous and you've built a robot construct for yourself,
Yeah.
why that one?
My guess is convenience.
Is that Darkseid's little brother?
Yeah.
This is Junior Brother's cousin.
Yeah. It's the lesser known. Yeah.
But why not stretch out the torso if you have like the available, like,
We had no more paper to go.
You still, yeah, exactly. You still have to fit, within the hallways. You can't be,
It would ruin the shape, man.
Yeah.
All right. So it's basically the egg guy on Humpty Dumpty.
So you're saying so.
Jeff, I'm not an editor. I'm not a professional editor by any means.
No, I mean, I'm trying to be on your side, but I just don't see the Humpty Dumpty angle.
The fact that he's egg shaped and he has little arms and legs.
Okay, all right. I guess that's fair. I didn't see it that way, but now I know his name.
Don't listen, Jeff.
I love it.
Not everybody.
I guess now I know what to call him.
Yeah, no, he's a badass. But I mean, imagine in my world. I'm imagining everybody is like he's 7 feet tall, that size. Then it's impressive.
I think he's more like 5 or 4 feet tall.
Really?
Yeah, maybe 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
Who's the
see, I was
lady
thinking he
above
was
him?
like the sleeper and he's big.
Who's the lady above him? Somebody wants Scott. How do you feel about Okay, real quickly. How do you feel about doing a trivia question and giving away the flash drawing you're doing?
All right, we can do it.
Wow.
Jeff, do you have a trivia question about Scott? Because there's Adam W says I want that flash.
Adam W. Well, I mean, just wanting. All right, if he can answer a trivia question about Scott,
and you know everything about Scott, too much.
I know a lot about Scott. What here's a trivia question for Scott. You have to really know.
Oh,
Scott.
I've got one, but go ahead.
I was gonna say, what martial art does Scott have a black belt in?
Oh,
Wushu.
A black belt?
yep,
Scott, you have a black belt?
Yeah.
I did. It's up on the wall.
Really?
I've got it framed and everything.
If he can guess that, he gets the drawing. If you
All right,
can't,
that's fair. That's fair. All right, go everybody. If you want, somebody wrote, "Forget Flash. I want the Humpty robot."
I want the Humpty robot.
I am calling him Humpty now. That's settled. That's a done deal.
Every day I try to annoy Jeff. Every day of my life.
So he's so good at it too.
And it used to, a long time ago, I touched on a nerve and probably Jeff was like, that's it. I'm never letting him do it again. It involved a movie with Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Oh, why would you make me watch that? It's so mean.
I didn't know your whole background. Dan, I have feelings.
Yeah, that's horrible. Oh.
Anyhow, someone says jujitsu, Ryan Barr.
Nope.
It is not jujitsu.
Someone says taekwondo.
Nope.
Billy.
Oh, I like this. Billy Blanks. That's what I would have guessed.
Taibo, yeah, that's a
Evan
good
Van Shiver or Scriver.
Nope. It's not Taibo.
It wasn't Taibo?
Nope.
No.
Tai Chi, somebody asks?
Nope.
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 Wow.
All right, you're running out of time.
Krav Maga.
Nope.
I want to see. I can't even pronounce this.
Yeah.
Some kind of karate.
Nope.
Wing
No,
Gang
not even-
Doodle.
So nothing karate. Oh, someone said Aikido. Leonardo.
Bing, 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 bing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Leonardo.
Leonardo.
Gets the prize.
Got
Unless
it
he,
in.
unless he lives on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
That's true. Shipping alone would kill it.
Yeah.
I don't know where Leonardo lives.
Let him pipe in.
Someone
Tell you
wrote
what-
monkey style. I would have guessed monkey style.
Monkey style would be fun.
It'd be a good guess.
I'd guess that for Jeff. Monkey style.
Yeah.
Jeff knows them all.
Year of the monkey. That's
Jeff
me
has
and
like
Dan.
11 black belts.
I'm too old to
Crouching
that.
Tiger. Someone wrote Hidden Dragon.
There you go. That's the best. It's the best martial art. All right. Well, I guess
I never
that's
had
a
a
good way.
black belt. And I always wanted one. Dave gave me a slide belt. If you've ever been on Facebook and you saw the slide belt advertisements, Dave
I
gave
just
me
want
one.
to too. Didn't
I have a
I?
slide. Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
awesome.
We each got slide belts. I wrote to Slide Belt asking if they'd trade my slide belt in for the one that has a little knife in it, and they wouldn't do it. And then I tried to trick Jeff into giving me his slide belt, and we could return both of them, and I could get the slide belt with the knife.
I'm not giving up my slide belt. That thing is it's a survival must.
I like the slide belt commercial or like advertisement on Facebook because this guy wakes up with a beautiful woman. He's married or he's got a girlfriend. He goes, guess what? Going on a little hiking trip. He puts his slide belt on. He goes out in the middle of nowhere, leaves his beautiful woman. He gets a bundle of sticks, which he could probably carry in his hands. He wraps his slide belt around them, drags them across the forest. And he uses his tiny knife, which is about the size of your thumbnail.
It's very sharp.
And like cuts some stuff. And then uses a match, which is inside. Like every aspect of the slide belt was incorporated in that weekend for him. And then he caught a fish, I think. That's what sold me.
It's a good belt.
Well,
It's an
you
exceptional
actually
belt.
didn't need to be sold because I just gave you the belt.
That's true. I got a free slide belt.
Yeah, that's the part Danny seems to be forgetting.
And then Jeff and I will periodically write to Slide Belt on Facebook. We'll, like you see those paid advertisements and Slide Belt will come up.
They love us.
They love us because Jeff and I will write like amazing slide belt stories, like how slide belt affected us, and then the people who own slide belt go, "Wow, that's." But they know we're kidding around, but they love it because people are actually interacting with them.
I have a great slide belt story where it helped me escape a burning vehicle.
Yeah.
It came in very handy.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
All right,
We're very
guys.
glad
Well,
you
let's Scott, are you on social media of any kind?
Yes, of any kind.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the ones we can
how's
talk
our friend
about.
going to get a hold of me?
All right. Talk about where you are and how we can find you if we need you.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram,
How?
Twitter, all that stuff. Huh?
Yeah, just type in Scott Collins.
Yeah.
Is that easy?
Yeah, it's that easy.
Nice. That's good.
I always want to put 2 L's for Collins, and nobody will let me.
That's because you're mean, Dan.
That's
Yeah.
not how it's spelled.
I want a second L,
It's like pronouncing your name wrong.
which everyone does, which I've accepted. I don't even care. Like some people get upset. I've heard every variety. Like it's Pan-Ocean, but I hear Panosian, Panosio. You know, I'm like, how did the O get at the end? I'm like, how did that happen? But I accept it. I like it. Then I become Italian.
You're a very good man.
Jeff, you're at Johnsonverse on DeviantArt, Johnsonverse on Twitter.
Yep. And just
What
Jeff
about-
Johnson on Facebook.
Oh, that's pretty easy.
And
What
I think
about
it's Johnsonverse on Instagram too.
yeah? What about
I don't know. I miss your original handle. That was.
Oh yeah, Jeff. So
Jeff
sad.
01558.
Yeah, because Jeff Johnson.
Yeah. I'm not smart. I did not understand. I still don't understand the internet. I'm pretty much a Luddite.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it simple.
Dave, you're at Devil Pig Everything, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm at Urban Barbarian Everything. So Urban Barbarian Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I have just a regular boring name.
All right.
It's kind of sad there at the end. Like we're all leaving. We're having so
I
much
know.
fun.
Well,
Here's as far as I've gotten.
Well,
I've got a little more to go.
Leonardo's going to be pleased. That looks pretty cool.
Lucky guess, Leonardo.
Oh, well,
Wasn't lucky.
He said he lives in Brazil, so he said give it to the next runner-up.
There wasn't a runner. What is closest to Aikido?
Well, Adam W said Aikido, so I guess he's kind of the.
He did. Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, go
All right,
look.
Adam W.
Adam said it first.
Adam W was the original guy who wanted it anyhow. He was the guy. All right, Adam W. If you're following Scott, send him a direct message. He'll see the request and click on it, and you guys can exchange pleasantries and go from there.
Cool, and I'll ship it out just like Dan ships his out.
Right.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I owe so many drawings, so many free drawings.
All right.
I'm sending
gentlemen.
this one to Dave.
Nice.
Should
That's
be
sweet.
to Ben because we miss him desperately.
I do miss Ben. Ben, thank you for hosting. Clearly,
He's also
we need
he's
you.
also he's also looking after Frank Thierry. So
Ah.
that's all. He's a handful.
It's true.
Frank's a lot to look after.
Poor Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody normally wants to be Ben, but not so much right now. All right, you guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Had a great time.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks for letting me hang with you.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.